Hi everybody, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is our Virgo pre-full moon webinar. The Virgo pre-full moon webinar, and I would like to say that the time for the full moon, the exact moment of the full moon, will be GMT tomorrow morning at 11:12 in the morning and 50 seconds. 11:12 and 50 seconds. And then we will actually also hear from our spiritual center, Temple of Silence. Tuya will be leading an exact full moon meditation. It will begin at 10:15 GMT. So you're welcome to tune in on that. That is a broadcast, and if you are on the big list, you should have received the broadcast link for that. And if not, I'll try to, well, it's too long to copy, really, but I'll try to show that to you, or you can write Brett or me, and we can send you the link. Well, okay, we're dealing now with a great and powerful sign of the zodiac, the sign Virgo. And this is the banner that we use. I am the mother and the child, I God, I matter am, or Christ in you, the hope of glory. The rulers here we see are Mercury, exoterically, the moon, esoterically, veiling two planets, Vulcan and Neptune, and Jupiter, the hierarchical ruler. We look over here and we see the Jofra illustration. It's so interesting, of course, this is the great feminine sign, the great sign of motherhood, but it's also the sign of the Deva evolution. The Devas, as the servants of the human family, are pictured here, but also as the equals, and many of them superior. And whenever we see wings, we know we're dealing with the ability of the Devas to transport themselves through space as rays in ways that the human being cannot yet do. We notice here that the archangels are represented as well. It may be a little bit difficult to see, but you can see my cursor here. We have Taurus, the bull, representing the archangel Uriel. We have Leo, representing Michael, Saint Michael, the archangel Michael. Then up here further, we have the eagle, which is Gabriel, the Scorpio, and then Raphael, Aquarius. Interestingly enough, they all again have wings around them, which suggests the angelic theme. Mercury, the exoteric ruler, is shown particularly, as the other forms of astrology don't deal with the other rulers as we do. And the usual Egyptian mythology is here. We have the jackal, who is Anubis, and reading the scroll, he awakens the dead to bring them into the judgment chamber. We have the alchemical alembic, whereby man is transformed and purified. We have the bird sacred to Thoth, who is Mercury and the third ray and the great recorder of our karma, and this can be considered the book of karma. Kabbalistic symbols are found here. And the great galaxy, presumably the Milky Way, which is influencing the great mother goddess. And here the symbol of sacredness and the portal of wisdom lying beyond, and I would say, you know, what represents for us the spirit, or that which brings us in to the portal of wisdom. Oh, there are many things in these Jofra paintings. The great fertility of this sign, a sign very powerful in the latter part of the previous solar system and still powerful in this solar system, although the rays have been changed. And the last solar system, it affected our system through the third and the seventh ray primarily. That's been my hypothesis. And now decay gives us the shift to the second and the sixth rays, which give us the birth of the Christ in the heart and the cultivation in general of the Christ principle, the soul, the aspect of consciousness through matter, through activity. Here we have, let's see, I want to find Francis Donald's work. Here it is. This is one of the symbols he created some time ago, the weaver. It's so interesting. This is the material connection of Virgo, and this is the pregnant goddess. All of us are pregnant with the Christ principle, working on the creation of the causal body, found here within as a 9-petaled whorl, and certain of the signs of the zodiac are here represented. And this is the loom, the warp, and the woof that we are constantly weaving in our lives. The warp is representing the divine principles, and the woof is all the material that we bring to the tapestry we are weaving in response to these principles. The moon is here represented as one of the rulers, and the caduceus of Mercury is also represented, and in the hairpin we see the hierarchical ruler Jupiter. It is intense work. The sign Virgo is indicated here by the left hand, taking us back to the past. It is, in a way, a sign representing all of the past. So we are busy weaving through matter the vehicles by means of which the causal body, or our soul, can manifest. And then we have a more recent image. This is from 2011. And I will read what Francis has to say about this, occasionally switching to it. It's all about Virgo going back to the night of time. The virgin goddess Artemis, even before the Egyptians worshipped her as Hathor, the habitation of the holy light. It comes from the name Virgo comes from an ancient Atlantean root name that was applied to the mother principle in those far-off times, a quote from Esoteric Astrology. And it goes back very, very far, Francis is telling us. Now you'll be able to, when you receive this, you'll be able to freeze your screen and read what is here. I will not read all of this right now. It goes back all the way to the moon chain and to Lemurian times, to the moon chain, even to the previous solar system. So the image that we are using here, we see Virgo sitting within the lunar arc. We see here is the arc, and it's a portion of the moon. Her ancient home and symbol. The moon is very connected with Virgo and with the past, revealing to us the light of the world. From the source of non-being, represented here by the vase, here, the source of non-being, or as HBB has called it, being and non-being simultaneously, represented by the vase. She has taken the seed of that light into herself. And this is the meaning of the moon veiling Vulcan, a great source of light being so close to the sun. And for countless eons has nourished it in the womb of substance. The inner light, the Christ principle, actually Vulcan has much to do with the heart of the sun, interestingly enough, is nourished in the womb of substance. Our world, and in our world and era, she is Eve, Isis, and Mary is bringing actually the Christ to birth. Eve is more related to the mental plane, and Isis to the astral plane. Her function to shield, nurture, and finally reveal the hidden spiritual reality. The light of wisdom, particularly, is associated with Virgo. Virgo's form is portrayed here. It represents the moon as the esoteric ruler of Virgo, and the poise and grace of her, as it says, moon face. We see kind of the, in a way, Cancerian face, but the Virgoan nose, physiognomy applies here. Suggests form in its most radiant and evolved state, for she is revealing a light hidden for eons, and is thus expressing her highest and final purpose. The sweeping lines of her clothing mirror the primordial sea over which she reigns. Let matter reign. She rules the sea of matter. Water and matter are considered to be identical. It looks like she has certain Buddha-like gestures here. It looks like, in a way, a kind of a Buddhistic Virgo, in a sense. Echoing these curves, mudra-like, the yin and yang position of her hands implies the nature of her revelatory gesture, and the brilliant blue light of devotion radiates from her core. Well, Virgo has very much the blue light in terms of the rays that she is expressing in this particular solar system, the 2 and the 6, both of them blue from some perspectives. From her necklace hang 3 pendants, indicating that she exemplifies the 3rd aspect of divinity. And let's see, well, there they are there, and you can't see too well, but anyway, just trust me, it's there. The 3rd aspect of divinity. And the vase represents the womb of the Virgin, which is both the womb of time and of substance itself. It is the inner root of outer space. The Great Bear, the starry prototypes of our planetary logoi. And all manifestation is a function of the Virgin. Well, really, Mula Prakriti. I mean, the Virgin Mother is far more than Virgo represents in our local cosmos system. It's universal in its nature. It is the ancient mother of the cosmos, out of which all form has arisen. It is through her nurture and sustenance that light emerges from darkness. Whether it is the spark of light, the Christ in you, the hope of glory, nurtured in the womb of the threefold personality, or a cosmic entity nurtured in the womb of the 3 lower cosmic planes. Always there is the mothering archetype, of which Virgo is one of the examples in our local cosmos system. And here, revelation bursts forth on the systemic stage. A planetary logoic prototype has emerged from out the causal womb. So we have, I'll just make this visible to you. There are many things to read here. The revelation of this image strives to illustrate, can be found in the lines from D.K. Mercury stands as the mediator or intermediary between the father and the mother, between spirit and matter, and yet is the result of the union of these two. Mercury is the sun, and also the son of mind. When the disciple becomes aware that he is himself Mercury, the son of mind, and therefore one with the universal Christ, the Son, and yet the Son of God, he is an initiate. Okay. Well, it's a very beautiful image, and we can hold this in mind as we work. There are so many things being said here, but you can read them when you review this. This is from the Valentia Straighton book, The Celestial Ship of the North, a wonderful book of astronomical mythology. And there are many geometrical symbols here as well. It's a lengthy discussion, and I'll just leave that to you, to your reading. Virgo symbolizes depths, darkness, quiet, and warmth. It is the valley of deep experience, wherein secrets are discovered and eventually brought to light. It is the place of slow, gentle, yet powerful crises and periodic developments which take place in the dark and yet which lead to the light. So we are all of us in the phase of Virgo, perhaps until we are the true initiate, even the true master. The light is coming to birth within us, especially, let us say, at the first initiation, and from there the infant Christ has to be raised until the stage of mastership is achieved. So ponder on the beauty of this synthesis and teaching, and know that you yourself have said the first word as the soul descending into the womb of time and space in a far and distant past. And even as the monad, we have descended into the womb of time and space, and the monad is particularly interestingly ruled by Virgo, showing its service aspect. The time has come when you can, if you so choose, proclaim your identity with both divine aspects, matter and spirit, the mother and the Christ. I am the mother and the child. I God, I matter, am. So another look here, and maybe we can make this a little bit bigger, and let's see here. We can look closely. The heart light is visible, the three pendants of the third aspect of divinity, but now, of course, Virgo is very much representing the second aspect. And the great mother of all form is here represented for us, at least our symbolization of the mother in terms of our local cosmic system. Elsewhere, it would be other and greater structures still that represent the primeval Mula Prakriti, the mother of all form in the universe. And so we have the chance now to purify the mother aspect and make it fit for the expression of the growing Christ light within us. This is strongly needed at this time. Human beings have to know that they are the inner Christ, and it has to come to birth with them, and they have to cease their identification merely with the personality aspect. We have a case of mistaken identity, and we have confused our identity with the form. But we have to know that we are more than the form, and the inner Christ coming to birth within us, and with which we can identify within the light of wisdom. This must be our goal, the bringing to birth of the inner Christ and its nurturance and raising into the state of initiate and finally master. Okay, friends, I think we can be ready then to begin our work together, our meditative work. There's so much that Francis has said here, and I simply recommend it to you. It's very easy to freeze your screen and to read and to ponder. And Brett and I will try to get this out to you right away so you can use it during the period. And so here we have the Virgo Solar Fire meditation, and we're in a day of, well, it's not quite 12 hours. Maybe it is, not quite. Okay. So the days of preparation have just about passed, and shortly, the 12 hours before the full moon will begin. So we have developed confidence, aspiration, and dedication, and then we will enter a period of safeguarding when the energies are flowing. We will receive and hold these energies, and on the days of distribution, we will express them. We will register what we have contacted and work with a sense of expectancy and final conviction of belief that the work has manifested, and thus it is. Okay. So we think of each other. There are quite a few of us tonight, some 75 or 76 of us. And we are all over the world, in a number of different countries, but we are united in soul together. We are in each other's presence. We are the soul in incarnation. The soul does not know time and space. And we just take a moment to identify as the soul, as that which Virgo is always nurturing, as that which comes into our recognition because of the efforts of Virgo. And pulling back from the familiar form and our familiar sentient, emotional feeling states, and from our familiar thoughts, pulling back from all these, we realize we are the point of being consciousness. We are the identity with consciousness, which is in incarnation. Really, we are actually the monad in incarnation, the monad with its consciousness in incarnation. But as we pull back from the familiar scene, we find ourselves in the world of light and love and power, as if surrounded by the inner light, the inner love and inner spiritual sacrificial power. And we have a soul intimacy with each other across time and space, according to the law of polar union or magnetic impulse. We are in the same soul field, and so we just take a moment to sense our presence. The personalities do not count. Together we are in the soul field. As one united being and one consciousness. And in this consciousness we feel that we unite with the men and women of goodwill around the world, also in their soul nature, wherever they may be found, with the members of the new group of world servers as more intense points of light, and the men and women of goodwill as points of light, distinguished from the masses of human beings. But finally, with all humanity in the soul nature. So wherever anyone is, in the body, out of the body, the souls of all are one soul, and all consciousnesses are one consciousness, to be pondered on for many years until grasped, felt, known, that essentially naught is but me. The great second ray mantram, naught is but me. Identification with the world soul, with the soul, with the consciousness of all beings, first on our planet, of course, later extending out and into the universe. Naught is but me. And the higher energies are those which can help us realize this. The will aspect of the soul is pouring into our point of mental illumination, preparing us to touch the higher dimensions of realization in the cosmic ethers, the truly spiritual realm, even beyond the soul or within. We are animated by the will to unify, particularly. And many types of will, according to the soul ray, and they even come from the monads themselves. But this will sets us up so we can penetrate deeply into the ever-present realities of the spiritual triad. Each one of us imagines our dual-colored rainbow bridge according to the colors of the soul and personality ray. First ray red, second ray indigo, third ray green, fourth ray yellow, fifth ray orange, sixth ray rose, seventh ray violet. And we feel the individual antakarana, the qualities of those colors, soul and personality colors. Penetrating upward and inward towards the point of spirit, and including the abstract mind, the intuitional mind or buddhi, the spiritual will, but anchoring itself in pure being, which is the essence of our monad. The presence. The self, the reality. And each one of us projecting, as it were, from a lower point of familiar focus with all the other members of the group who have their rainbow bridges, cone-like, extending to the blue-white point of spirit. The multicolored group, antakarana, we will project across that rainbow bridge using the thought, I see the greatest light, the second ray word of power. We will sound the Om externally 3 times while we inwardly think as we project towards the reality of ourselves and of all things, as we project towards the spirit. We think, I see the greatest light. And in the silence we attempt to feel the triadal presence and even the pure being, which is what we are. And to which Virgo is so close, representing as it does the monad, the divine ideal. We are certainly beyond the personality at this point. We are fused together as one being. Our qualities are radiant, and we are touching, at least in imagination, the higher worlds. This is the area, the dimension, where the masters of the wisdom can be found. This is where they focus always, and we are working in collaboration with them. And as we meditate, we want to express our cooperation, feel assured of their presence, which can be reached when we attune resonantly with the vibration they are sustaining. And so that's what we do with our salutations, our acknowledgement of their presence. We affirm our resonance with them, our solidarity with them, our co-creatorship, our will to be the co-workers with the hierarchy of light, love, and power. So, we'll use the familiar form. Salutations to the Christ, the Master of all masters. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we most closely work and who have inspired the ageless wisdom in its modern presentation in the world, Master M, KH, and DK. Salutations to the Master Morya, the head of all esoteric schools and organizations. Salutations to the Master Kuthumi, whose ashram is preparing the way for the reappearance of the Christ, and he himself, the coming Christ of the age of Capricorn. Salutations to the Master Jwal Kul, who has given us the blue books and is preparing aspirants for the first 3 initiations. Salutations to your own Master as you conceive him to be or know him to be. Salutations to the entire spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Imaginatively, we raise our thought, our consciousness towards Shambhala, where the will of God is known, towards Sanat Kumara, the great sacrifice, the head of the one fundamental school of occultism in Shambhala, the Lord of the world, and as we sound the inner, silent, long Om, we attend to the will of God as we can understand it, to receive that will and somewhat understand the purpose. We are all to be light bearers, carrying the light of the inner worlds to our brothers and sisters on the outer planes, and we must fit ourselves as individuals and in group form to do this. And the purification and transmutation of Virgo are so necessary here, to attend to the lesser organisms which constitute our energy system and bring them into the highest state we can. We'll tend the evocation of the fire. The fire of the soul within substance. In this alignment which we have been creating, even with the Spirit itself, and with the great elders, the graduates of the human kingdom, the spiritual hierarchy, we see ourselves not as persons but as a point of light. We are as if together an intense point of light. We are a point of love. We are a point of sacrificial will. And hovering above the golden path which leads to the heart of the indigo sun, we are going to go more deeply inward, together. Together and as one. Not as apparently differentiated personalities, but as one united spirit soul. All the veils lifted in each other's presence. And as the golden path shortens, being retracted into the indigo sun, we move with it along the golden path, until it disappears into the indigo sun, and there we are. In the presence, shall we say, of the Master DK's consciousness, and seeking as a group to be an outpost of his consciousness, as he is such an expert in the field of energies which we are seeking to contact. And as we approach in our consciousness and sentiently these energies now available, we think of being supported by this greater consciousness which is infusing our own. And we seek these planetary rays at first. They are present. They are here. They are intensified at this time because of the cyclic power of this Virgoan moment. Mercury, the exoteric ruler, we have access to the discriminative intelligence in the field of matter form. Mercury in relation to Virgo. The mind is sharpened, and it can handle the form so that it can be the birthing place for the inner soul and can work in response to that inner soul. And then the moon. It has no energy of its own, but it does represent the potential for purification, the better to embody the Christ principle. We purify our lunar nature, the lives which are part of our system and which came from another chain altogether. The moon, in this case, veiling Vulcan and Neptune, Vulcan the glory of matter, Neptune the inner Christ, both showing the fusion of soul and of matter in this sign. We have access there. And access also to the hierarchical ruler Jupiter, the father of the gods in a way, at least in the Greek pantheon, the king of the gods. And this hierarchical ruler suggests for us the expansion of the Christ consciousness until the full and glorious Christ is found throughout our system, our groups, humanity, and our planet, coming to fruition. We have to remember that the soul ray of Jupiter is the second of love, wisdom, and that is the soul ray of our planetary logos, so there is a deep affinity and the promise of fulfillment. The Christ consciousness will triumph. So now we go more specifically on rapport, first with Mercury, the sun of mind in relation to Virgo. We can picture the glyph of Mercury. We're familiar with that in the color yellow. It's the color most associated with Mercury, thus telling its connection with the intellect and also with Buddhi, with the true intuitive intelligence. And here we can absorb the acute ability to focus the mind analytically, lucidly, reasonably, so that the birthing of the Christ principle in the heart may be prepared in form with full intelligence. The access to Mercury. Breathing it in. In so many ways, Master DK represents Mercury, the messenger of the hierarchy. And we are the recipients of that message, able then to convey through the throat center, the ajna center, that which we have learned, intellectually and intuitively. We're in the yellow of Mercury. The glyph is shining. Our groups need this acute intelligence to better represent the ageless wisdom before the world, before the thinking public, sharpening the mind here as it works in the three lower worlds over which Virgo has so much sway. Every aspect of matter in the subplanes, in a sense, ruled by Virgo. And may that keen intelligence be ours. Virgo. The exaltation in Virgo is Mercury, the exalted planet. Not only the exoteric ruler. So we see this keen intelligence of Mercury, this intuitive, reasoning intelligence, passing into our groups, making our groups more articulate in their representation of the ageless wisdom to a needy humanity, whose mind must be fed if true spirituality is to be gained. Into our groups it passes. Our groups are imbued with this yellow light of the intellect and of the intuition, the link with the higher and lower worlds, access to Mercury. We will sound the Om on its note. The note E, the Mercurian Buddhic note. And we change our focus now because we need access also to that which the moon represents, in this case Vulcan and Neptune, to convey the ability to restore the threefold lunar form to its divinely intended purity. And this purification, fitting for the expression of the Christ, is achieved through the sustained will to endure of Vulcan, a first-ray soul planet, holding the lunar form in its grip. We bend the matter form of our nature to the grip of the will of the soul. This persistent control, bringing out the light quality of matter, until the Christ child, who is Neptune Vishnu, is born in the cave of the heart, and we are aware that we are together in our personality nature, the mother of the Christ child. The will to persist, Vulcan, until the Christ comes to birth within us. Humanity needs this very much, and in many of us, I would say all of us, the Christ has come to birth. It may be merely a babe. The first two initiations are the little children, the babe and the little child, first and second. So we seek to understand this persistence in the purifying work until the Christ comes to birth, as it will in humanity. When the reappearance of the Christ occurs, his reappearance will signal that the first initiation of humanity has been taken. An amazing thought. The moon, Vulcan, and Neptune. We ponder. seek that purification which will allow us truly to express the inner Christ in wisdom. And we take pains to assure that our vehicles are in such a condition that that inner light, the inner love, can be expressed. So this is the time to reflect on many things that need change, adjustment, purification. So through the cleanliness of the personality, we may be nearer to the inner God. And our groups need this too, and we visualize the will to endure and the sensitivity of the Christ light and love suffusing our groups, suffusing their lunar nature, changing, as is so needed, the lunar nature of the groups. So that the group personality truly can transmit translucently, even later transparently, the inner light, the inner love. It's our responsibility. Let us see those needed changes occurring in our group life, the changes which only Virgo can bring. And we'll sound the Om on a second ray note. The second ray can relate both to Vulcan and Neptune in a very deep way. We take the necessary pains to do what is required in the little things. As Master Morya has said, even the tiniest grain of sand can stop the largest wheel. And finally, we move to the hierarchical ruler, the planet Jupiter, which rules the entire monadic plane. It's the expansive, monadically expansive power of Jupiter in relation to Virgo. We try to see, to visualize this Christ principle achieving full and consummated expression as it rises from the Buddhic plane to the monadic plane, into the sphere of the realized one, beyond harmony into oneness. This is the place where the spirit aspect of all human beings are found in 7 great groups, Jupiter related also to the number 7. So we try to sense the meaning of the spiritual victory of divine love in the field of matter form throughout the 5 lower cosmic subplanes through which the monad, that is, we, are making our pilgrimage. all that we see and experience can indeed be redeemed. We have the redemptive power, the Kriya Shakti, the ideal, and we can materialize that ideal in the lower worlds, representing the monadic archetype, which is the will and the plan of our planetary logos for his lower fields. We can contribute here to that realization. The Christ energy of Jupiter will eventually, will and can, embrace the 6 worlds of monadic expression, including even the humblest expression of life in form, because all beings are one in spirit. Spirit matter, it's all one. I am the one, I God. I am the form in which all forms are merged. I am the soul in which all souls are fused. I am the life, and in that life all little lives remain. Father, Mother, Son, all one, realized in Jupiter. He is all 3. Exalted in Cancer, where matter is powerful. He is the son of Saturn. He represents the 2nd aspect and thus the soul. And also, he is the king of the gods, representing the Father. All 3 aspects here, correlating with the 3 aspects of Virgo, Father, Mother, Child. And our groups need this sense of inclusiveness, this sense that there are no real differences. Receiving these transcendent qualities of Jupiter, we infuse imaginatively our groups with those large and embracing concepts and impressions. So for us, the world is one and embraced as one, spirit, matter as one. The highest and the lowest meet and are embraced in Jupiter. Using the 2nd ray note, which is sometimes called a 7th ray note, the note G, we see our groups, the world and humanity, benefiting from this Jupiterian inclusiveness. We have received the rays of Mercury, of Vulcan, of Neptune, now of Jupiter. These are real rays. They are here. The gifts of these sources can be ours in intensified form at this time, relating, persisting, redeeming, and including. 4 key words for these 4. And to the sun itself, when we look in the sky and see that blazing sun, the vehicle of the solar logos, all pervading, the blue logos, color blue being very strong now, since Virgo brings in more of the second ray than any other constellation at this time. The blue logos at the heart of every one of us, and at the heart in Buddhi of every atom, and we are all atoms. The Buddhic fire of the blue logos, so closely related to Jupiter. The encompassing of love, wisdom throughout our solar system. We can feel this at this time. Love for all the beings, all the little beings, all the apparently lesser beings who are but one essence. We can serve the immediately present and all the lesser forms of life, even as we are served. Love, wisdom pouring through all the planets and our planet particularly. How interesting the light of Virgo now as we turn towards the constellation itself, an expansive constellation with the bright star Spica in its center, representing illumination and fulfillment, fruition, nourishment. The light of Virgo bringing a blended dual light. Two lights are seen, bright and strong. The light of form, one faint and dim, the light of God. This light is distinguished by a waxing of one and the waning of the other. It differs from the light of Gemini because it is spirit and matter, and not just soul and form. The spirit will grow ever brighter, first as soul and then as spirit, in the womb of time and space, in this Virgoan womb, metaphysically considered. And these energies are now available to us, and its rays, the second and sixth, and the fourth of Mercury, the fourth of the Moon, veiling the first of Vulcan, and the sixth of Neptune, and again the second of Jupiter, all available now, many on the 2-4-6 line where the inner Christ is being nurtured. And so our moment comes to turn to this constellation, represented as a sign for our solar system and planet, and ponder first, I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. I am the mother, every one of us, the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. And we will ponder as a group in the alignments we have created, touching the higher worlds where direct knowledge exists. We will ponder together. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. A great synthesis here. Let us seek to realize this synthesis of our identity. I am Father Darkness, I am Mother Darkness, I am the radiant Sun. All of this is a synthesis, it is a fusion, spirit, matter, matter, spirit. Spirit, soul, and matter are all one. The mother must be glorified, raised up into heaven, the Assumption of the Virgin, crowned by the Son in the sight of the Father. I am the mother and the child. I, God, I matter, am. Christ in you, the hope of glory. Said to be the true mantram of Virgo, the true keynote, the glory, the rising glory of the inner Christ, which all of us must express through matter form. It must be expressed. Christ in you, the hope of glory.
Hi all, I think we have lost Michael's transmission. I will close the meditation with the following downflow. And we open ourselves imaginatively and silently to the following downflows of energy from the constellation Virgo, through the solar logos at the heart of the solar system, through the planets Mercury, the Moon, veiling Vulcan and Neptune, and through Jupiter. Into Shambhala, and through your monad and all associated monads. Feel the energy of this downflow. Into the hierarchy, through the Great Lord, the Christ, and into and through the ashram, with which you believe yourself to be increasingly associated, and thus through your soul and the group soul of your co-workers. And into your spiritualized personality and all associated spiritualized personalities. We embrace the deepest possible impression from Virgo, and preserving our high alignments, including that of the Antakarana. Visualize or think of the world situation and the ways in which the energies of Virgo and its associated rays and astrological energies can be applied for the upliftment and redemption of humanity and the planet in accordance with the divine plan. Preserving your high alignments by reaffirming them in the imagination. Quietly and rhythmically sound the great invocation, as if in unison with the Christ, the masters of the wisdom, and the members of your groups. Pausing contemplatively between the verses, and we close with sounding the sacred word Om 3 times, thus spreading the light, love and power to all humanity, all kingdoms of nature and the planet. From the point of light, within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the centre where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the centre which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. And thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm back, and thank you, Kay, for carrying on seamlessly. And, well, we'll put it all together. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And I don't know when I dropped out. I had my eyes closed. But anyway, all is well, and enjoy your Virgo full moon meditation. Remember, at 11, 12, and 50 seconds in the morning tomorrow is the full moon, and you can join us also here for an exact full moon meditation starting at 10:15 in the morning GMT. So farewell, and we'll talk to you later. All the best. Bye-bye.